However, others believe that the name is actually an outdated piece of Nazi propaganda.
Salmonella has educated us on many things that we would not have any knowledge of, and it's very interesting, and I think it's been fun, a great deal of fun. We learned about the emperor that was in America that we didn't even know existed.
Well,
we learned about fictitious saints that we didn't know existed because they didn't.
They did.
And also learned a little bit about chimps here recently.
Yeah, those are recently, but we've watched a lot of
We've watched a lot.
Yeah.
So to hone back in on the animal subjects, we found a Salmonella Academy video called Animal Weaknesses. What is your most notable animal weakness that you can think of?
I can think of one that's not true, that I thought was true for a very, very, very,
Does it have to do with snakes?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So when I was young, my dad took me fishing. We saw a snake. I freaked out. I didn't want to get in the water. He wanted me to get in the water because he wanted to fish. I was just kind of there. And he told me not to be afraid because snakes cannot physically bite you underwater or they will drown.
It's untrue.
I think I was around maybe 7 when he told me this. I repeated it out loud in class in high school. And I was told that was very wrong and that I was dumb by the teacher for thinking that. And I went home very angry. My dad thought it was hilarious.
Horrible animal weakness that I can think of is when turtles are flipped on their backs.
Oh, yeah. And then you see, like, animals helping them out.
Yeah, sometimes.
So cute.
Sometimes animals who are predators take advantage of that situation.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
But it sucks. I love turtles. I don't want to know that if they flip over,
you
they're
know what?
stuck.
You know what I just thought of?
What?
Praying mantis.
Oh.
Every time you get laid, you
Hey,
die.
bad news.
Which is just once.
Bad news, guys.
Yeah.
Don't be a praying mantis. Not a good end
Or
to that.
bees, whenever they sting you
Or
and
bees.
they die.
Yep.
Not all of them.
Some animal weaknesses that suck. So Salmonella is going to take us on a little gallivant through his knowledge in the Salmonella Academy and tell us about animal weaknesses. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Let's get on it. Salmonella.
Hey kids, when living things evolve, it's almost always for the better. After all, the reason genes get passed down is because of the fact that they help the organism survive.
Heck.
Occasionally, though, adaptations that might help an animal in general can become huge drawbacks in other ways. Today, we're going to talk about some inherited traits that can end up screwing certain animals over if they're not careful. First is sloths. So, evolutionarily, life has found 2 distinct methods to handling survival on
Look at
land.
the
You got the
sloth
plants and the
picture.
fungi who just kind of hang out, and then you got the animals who actually, do things.
Like
The
the
sloth is
cow.
the one member of the animal kingdom who was brave enough to say, alright, I made the wrong choice here. This whole mobility thing, way overrated. So you know what? Fuck it. I'm changing teams. The sloth's sedentary lifestyle is made possible by the fact that the creature has the metabolism of the average college kid, sleeping 16 hours a day and only crapping like once a week. However, while this lifestyle is easily sustained on a diet of Hot Pockets and alcohol, it doesn't work as well when you eat nothing but leaves, which provide very little energy relative to volume. Because of this, you can have sloths who straight up kick the bucket just from being too full. Their sad, slow sloth stomachs spend so much energy over so much time trying to digest the matter, that by the time they're able to start absorbing energy, they've already fallen out of the tree dead from exhaustion. I learned about this next thing from my Uncle Harvey back when I was 8. He said to me, "Hey Sammy, did you know sharks die if they stop swimming?" At first I was
heard
skeptical, because this was the same man that told me that the squirrel on the road was just taking a nap. Several firm prods with a stick proved to me otherwise, so by this point in time, I figured Uncle Harvey just had a generally poor grasp on the concept of death. Apparently, though, he was right about the first thing. Some species of sharks, such as great whites and whale sharks, need to constantly move forward in order to push new water into their mouths and through their gills so that they don't suffocate. It's kind of like when you were a kid and you had to keep running to keep the kite in the air, only instead of a kite, it's your respiratory system, and instead of the kite falling down, you would choke to death on your own deflated organs. Anyway, this method of breathing is known as ram ventilation. Following this logic, one would think that rams would then breathe through something called shark ventilation, but no, apparently they just breathe like everybody else. Next we have ferrets. So in some cultures, ferrets are referred to as polecats, and there are
I've
two
heard
main
that.
theories as to why
heard
that
that for
is.
skunk.
Some biologists believe that the name is based on the fact that ferrets are an evolutionary hybrid of the pole and the cat, as evidenced by their shape and features. However, others believe that the name is actually an outdated piece of Nazi propaganda designed to show that Polish people are so dumb they don't know what a cat looks like. Now, I'm just fucking with you guys. They're actually called polecats because of the old French word pole, meaning chicken, which comes from the fact that these guys would always break into farmers' hen houses back in the day. Back to the matter at hand, though, there is one critical difference between ferrets and cats. When a cat eats some weird household item, it can always just vomit or crap it out, problem solved. However, things get a little more complicated when your intestines are the size of shoelaces and your body is shaped like a sideways question mark. In fact, ferrets are probably the easiest to clog animals in the world. They can get blocked up and potentially die just from a few of its own hairs or a cherry pit or something getting lodged in their intestines. And it takes more than just a pipe cleaner to fix that kind of issue.
Ew.
Most ferret parents have to take their pet to the hospital in the event of a blockage in order to have the obstruction removed through surgery. So unless you want to pay thousands of dollars in vet bills, make sure to keep an eye on your ferret so it doesn't end up killing itself on something random. How it feels to chew 5-gum.
Oh,
Help, I can't shit no more!
5-gum. Stimulate your ferrets.
no.
Anyway, that's all for today. Till next time, I'm Salmonella, and thank you for watching.
God, dude. Help, I can't shit no more. Thank God, dude. We have an awesome friend, okay? He's an amazing, sweet-hearted, lovable guy.
Oh, I know exactly
And
where you're going.
Nikki and I are pushovers when it comes to animals. Okay, we want to take care of and love and house and take all the precautionary measures we can to live with these said, vagabonds who have to crash with us for extended periods of time. We have taken in lots of little critters and taken care of them as much as we possibly can. And one such critter that was brought to our home to see if we could take care of and be his new forever home and parents was a ferret.
So people know that we, or used to at least, knew that we couldn't say no to taking care of animals, and like it was like a problem a little bit, and that I just really did everything that I could to make sure that they were safe, and like, if they needed to go to the vet, we
extended ourselves too much in taking care of animals.
Too much. And I've kind of learned my lesson on it, but at that point I had not.
Yeah.
And so since this is the second person, one person reached out and was like, "Hey, I don't want my bearded dragon anymore. Can you take him?" And I was like, I work 40 hours a week. I have a bearded dragon at home. I have two sugar gliders at home. You can't have them living
with each other either. They would fight and it would be bad.
Yeah, and we had a girl, so I can't deal with babies.
They're very aggressive about mating.
We had gerbils.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No, I cannot take your bearded dragon.
Yeah.
This friend was like, "Hey, I have a ferret. Can't really
It's an elderly ferret.
care of it anymore the way that I would like to. And I really trust you guys." And I was like, "I don't know anything about ferrets, but you can bring her over and just see if it's a good fit."
It wasn't.
Because I was really excited. Because I had been around a ferret before, and it was like really young and like very playful and like mischievous and like sneaky. But I hadn't spent like a lot of time with it either.
It was sweet.
It was very sweet, but it was
frail and old and
so old that I was afraid to hold her.
And not only that, but like smelled really bad.
She's stinky.
And
your allergies went
my allergies
crazy.
Were horrible to it.
Like worse than a cat or something.
Yeah.
Like you have a ferret allergy.
I do.
Which I never would have thought.
But yeah, I don't know about having them as pets. I mean, more power to you if you want to and that's your thing, then great. But this is just
I've
more
seen
of
very cute videos of them.
we made the right decision video.
Well,
because
they get into everything on purpose. So like you wouldn't be able to leave out literally anything.
No.
It's hard enough
Even with
already.
the new kitten in our house, I have selected like my office is off limits to the animals right now for
and
most
we have
part.
had to like pick up so many things. Like, why do you have this? How did you get this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're packing because we're gonna have to move soon. So like, it's
difficult. It is difficult.
Definitely couldn't do it with the ferret, but very interesting video. Learning something from the Salmonella Academy. Always do. Always appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed yourselves. And that's going to do it for us, y'all.
Yeah.
See you in the next one. Bye.